That's the board that my mom was the clerk for, Village of Northport.
The guy was at Brighton, had like 3 votes and he's in. He put his address as a vote slip in the ring.
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, Happy New Year. I'd like to call the Green Lake Township Board of Trustees regular meeting to order of January 14th, 2025 at 5:30 PM. Judy, can you do a roll call, please?
West.
Here.
McDonald. Biondo.
Here.
Merrick.
Here.
Biganowski. Kramer here, and Radke.
Present. We have a full board. Thank you. Before we proceed, if you have any smart devices, anything that makes noise, if you could put it on mute or vibrate, it'd be greatly appreciated, except Sheriff Deputy's radio. All rise.
Do you want to tell them about the camera?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And as information purposes only, it appears that our video is not working. It's not being recognized, whether through the internet or not, and we're not sure about voice. So we're going to continue as if we have audio, video simultaneously. Well, I'm sure it's going to be discussed a couple times this month, this meeting. So with that, we could add reconciliation under new business after
the
trail match, item number 3. So at this time, from my understanding, under new business, we'll have poverty exemption resolution, trail match, and reconciliation. Did I miss anything? Is there anything else? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda with said amendments. We've got a motion by Baganowski, supported by McDonald, to approve the agenda as amended. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the consent agenda, which contains the minutes of December 10th, 2024 meeting, treasurer's report, and bills. Is there any member of the audience that would like an item removed from the consent agenda? Any member of staff? Any member of this board?
Yeah, minute.
Andy?
The treasurer's report, just the bank rec portion, please.
Okay.
And we could enter that in bank recs, it's already on the agenda.
Okay, so you'd like to remove
I'd like to
the,
remove bank recs from the treasurer's report and add it under new business to the section that we've already got added as bank recs.
item number 3, under new business. Okay, Dave?
That's what I wanted.
Okay.
Minute.
Wow. What's that?
I want minutes.
And remove the minutes. We'll place them under,
Bank recs.
Is it a major issue with the minutes or just? a
Well,
light?
depends, go to page. Get it.
no, we'll move them under
Okay.
new business after bank recs. Okay, so we have added 2 more agenda items to address.
So there's nothing left on the consent agenda.
Yes.
Well, the
bills.
treasurer's report other than
Yeah.
bank recs.
So we have, what's left on our consent agenda is treasurer's report accepting reconciliation reports and the bills.
And payroll, too.
That'd be a bill.
No.
Yep. Okay.
So I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended. That contains treasurer's report minus reconciliation, bills, payroll, etc.
So
I'll make
moved.
that motion.
I'll
We have-
second.
Motion by Merrick, supported by Kramer, to approve the consent agenda. Please do a roll call on that.
Radke.
Yes.
West.
Yes.
McDonald. Biondo. Merrick.
Yes.
Biganowski. And Kramer, yes.
I didn't realize the mic was so big.
Donk.
Yeah. Next item is public comment. I'd ask that you rise, go to the podium, state your name, address of residence, and your limit of comment to be 3 minutes towards the board, please. Is there any member of the public that wishes to do so? Please rise.
Scott Richards, 11802 Fred Meyer, Interlochen. I've been getting into politics, and
Getting into?
yeah, well, until my house burned down, I was nice and comfortable, and I guess God knew that. So I hope you all read God's word every day. It says in Psalms 119:11, I've hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. But one of my favorite verses is the goal of this command is love, which comes from a pure heart, a good conscience, and a sincere love. That's 1 Timothy 1:5. Why love? Because God is love. That's what it says in 1 John 4:8. And 10 verses later, it says, there's no fear in love, and perfect love casts out fear. So that's why love. Pure in heart. Because over in Matthew 5:8, it says, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. And I definitely want to see God. And a sincere faith, because in Hebrews 11:6, it says, without faith it's impossible to please God, and he's a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. So I hope you guys seek his word every day, and his discernment and his wisdom. That's where it all comes from. Thank you.
Are we out of order?
Pardon?
Are we out of order?
Yeah, because he forgot to do reports.
Oh, my bad.
Or
I'm going to
conflict of
finish up
interest.
public comment. If that's all right. Is there any other member of the public that wishes to speak? Thank you, Sherry. We'll go back into the agenda. One item, reports. I see the community police officers here. Deputy Nofke.
Good evening. I just want to say
Time's up.
thank you for the township and the board. Sorry I wasn't really here much towards the second half of last year. You guys kind of give me the opportunity where I can coach various sports. I've probably logged in over 1,000 hours coaching baseball, football, and then I'm into basketball right now. So I just want to thank you as a board and for the township for allowing me to do that. Secondly, from our agency standpoint, we're pretty much up to full capacity. I think the huge benefit with our local police academy going to 16 weeks has been very beneficial to help fill the gaps that we have. As far as complaints going on out here, I don't like to say the word, but it's fairly slow this time of the year. Mainly it's traffic-related stuff, and seasonal property checks seem to be the two biggest things that I deal with. Christmas Day, we had a stolen car out on Gonder Road. The suspect is familiar with the victim in this. The car is unaccounted for at this time, but it's believed to be somewhere in the southeast side of the state or in the Flint-Saginaw area. And with our technology, it has not hit on any of the cameras that these agencies have in any of their areas. So that's pretty much all I have at this point. Does anybody have any questions?
Just point of clarification on that. You did volunteer. Greatly appreciate that. We don't have enough, and they're underappreciated.
No.
But also, side note, you did not sacrifice the time commitment in Green Lake Township. It was just allotted in a different schedule that conflicted with our once-a-month meeting. So I just wanted to clarify that. It wasn't time off.
Right, no.
That's an addition. So thank you for being involved with our youth as well.
Thank you. I thought you had a question.
Okay, Chief Case, we have your written report from your departments. And is there anything that you would like to further discuss? Such as the FLOA MSP,
Yep.
and et cetera.
You bet. So Supervisor Radke put in your packet proposal that I was, that I submitted to go ahead and purchase for the department. This is a new, kind of gets us a long-term goal step in. We don't have staffing or an inspector to do full inspections yet, but this is a way for the department to do some pre-planning. So it's on us as end users, though Flow MSP has technology. So this is a web-based application. Unfortunately, our dispatch and Flow MSP don't have a connection to put this through their platform or through dispatch, but it'll run off an application that's on all of our primary, including the ambulances, the engine, the tanker, my vehicle. So we can bring up a program on there and be able to look at all the pre-planning. This is a pre-planning application. So we can go in and pre-plan all of our commercial businesses. And we can pretty much pre-plan any property, including residential, which is a lofty goal, but it would be nice to have every one of our residences pre-planned if an incident was to happen there, i.e. Something major like a house fire or something like that. It would allow us to know, things at street view like utilities, where their electrical is, where their gas connection is, do they have propane, hazards that would cause an issue to us that it'd be nice to know up front. If they have, 2 500-gallon propane tanks that are situated close. But for all of our commercial stuff too. And the application is really nice because it's can be utilized very easy off cell phone technology. So we can input easy pictures on locations that are need to be pointed out. Just kind of providing that to the board so you guys can see kind of where we're looking to push on to. This will be legacy stuff. Dave stopped in and had a couple questions about it the other day, and some of the old legacy stuff was paper, and that wasn't maintained, didn't get maintained post-rural. What they tried doing ever made it to where we currently are, where the information into this will be lasting in the system. And they do have one really nice application, which is we can use the information that GIS has already put in, which comes to address locations, so we can put specific, we don't have to input all the GIS information, we can upload it. They can upload that, and that's part of when we purchase onto this, is that we give them that data and they push it into the system for us. So it'll have all of our addresses already in there, and then we just need to go to them and put in the data and information that we want made available to us. So I just wanted to kind of show the board that where we're looking at going with the pre-planning information to kind of move us down the road into a more capable fire department. Go ahead.
So, 2 questions. One is, does any of our surrounding municipalities or townships have this software or similar software? Do they?
Grand Traverse Metro is currently using Flow MSP. Yep,
Anybody else?
that's it right now.
All right, so should I expect you to come in the next couple months with a formal request to spend this money, or what?
This has already been budgeted, and that was planned for.
All right, so
He's
he's
just,
his own budget.
yes,
All right.
he's just promoting this, saying, hey, look, we're stepping into the future, we're trying to ensure that we don't miss, like we're,
I get
Okay.
the program, because I'm just asking about us.
no, this is all within scheduled and it's budgeted, and we're just gonna proceed.
And you guys as board members may hear some of this from some of your commercial folks out there, or business owners, or eventually we'll put this out to residents as, that we'd like to do this to your property, we'd like to make contact with you and see if there's any information we should know, so that we're no different than Bill or the assessor coming onto the property or anything like that. This is all proactive on our point to try to make our response better and laid out.
So, any other questions in regards to the software? If not, continue, sir.
Okay, the other, three other things. So we did break another run record this year, slightly up over our 2022 run count, only by 6 calls, but it was kind of a little bit surprising with me with having the state park shut down all year. I would have thought that we were going to have a little stumble there, but we didn't. So we did make a new run record there. I also received notice last week that I received a DNR grant that I put in for last year. So this is a matching 50-50 grant up to the max that the DNR will match is $2,500. So it's a $5,000 grant. $2,500 will come out of my budget and $2,500 by the DNR, and that's going to purchase additional wildland extrication gear. So we have some members, it's perfect timing, so they're going to pay for half of that. And the last one is, I'm going to put a flyer on the back table, but at the end of the month here, on the 25th, in the Golden Fellowship Hall, there's going to be a chili cook-off here. We got to host because I won it last year, so apparently it goes to where the winner goes. I didn't know that, or maybe I would have not won that, but it is open to the public. All the stuff is for donation, so there's a silent auction, a 50-50 raffle, door prizes, and then all the money contributions go back to the winning department. So, yeah, just wanted to put that out there, that I'll put the flyer on the back table. That's all I have.
Well, you said you set a new run record.
Yep.
Do you put the ambulances and the fire truck together on that
Ours are all
runner
combined,
record?
yep.
Because I noticed the fire truck hardly ever goes out anymore, so is it more ambulance runs? that
Yeah,
you
majority
sell,
of our calls,
basically?
I don't have a percentage, usually roughly 85% of the call are EMS, if your department's doing EMS, that's about it, yep. I know Blair separates hers, and I can separate out the fire responses, that's easily done through our system, yep.
Yeah, I noticed the fire truck, it's like one this month, and all the
We
rest
like
of the
that,
runs
huh?
are something else, so
Yeah,
it was
the
more
education's working.
EMS's.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep, and Jason wasn't able to be here, our zoning administrator. He had very little to report as this month of December. Since the last meeting, it's been prep for improvements of the administrative offices, helping move out, getting things ready. So they're getting refreshed on Epic, the portal software of the county, the software county portal for permitting. I know Jason and Roy have been dealing with some gal down there at the construction code that's been very involved in assisting everybody. So other than that, there was nothing else that he wanted to report in that regards. Where am I at? I don't see any other reporting agency other than I'll give a verbal report. I'm meeting with the county administrator next Tuesday to go over the dam proposal that they presented to Green Lake Township. And at this point in time, they want us to take ownership, liability, and take care of the cost of maintaining it and report it back to the county. Obviously, that's a no. So we're going to have, at least it's a starting point for discussion. Had to start somewhere, and that's where they started, so we'll negotiate from there, or discuss. With that being said, any other reports? Hearing none, I did miss declaration of conflict of interest as well on the agenda. My apologies. Is there any declaration of conflict on any agenda item? Great, hearing none. We did public, no postponed, new business. The 2025 Poverty Exemption Resolution 01142025.1. It is a requirement that we adopt one annually that are based upon the federal standards and administered through the state of Michigan. If you recall, every December or January, we get to deal with this. And this is going to be implemented for our board review coming up in March.
So you're saying that $40,000 number comes from the feds?
Yes.
Is it changed from last time, you know?
Yes, it was 38,000.
38,000 last
Yeah,
year.
38,000 and change.
Okay.
So they readjusted.
Inflation.
Any other thing? If not, I'd entertain a motion to adopt resolution.
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Biondo, supported by West, to adopt the 2025 Poverty Exemption Resolution 01142025.1. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
West,
Yes.
McDonald, Merrick,
Yes.
Biganowski,
Yes.
Biondo, Kramer, yes, and Radke.
Yes, consider the resolution adopted. Next item on our agenda. Sorry, we have
Trail match.
Trail match.
Pat McDonald's request for the trail match. Pat?
Thank you. We have gotten the easement finally from the Center for the Arts, and they did also send a check for just under $15,000, I believe, to the DDA as part of their match. We voted a few months back that we would be willing to do the same, and I apologize, I don't have a copy of the invoice with me, but an invoice was submitted from the DDA to the township. I believe it's $14,900 and something dollars. Yes, asking for authorization to pay our match to the DDA, matching the Center for the Arts contribution and the DDA's monetary contribution.
Is that a motion?
Not to exceed 15?
Yes.
That's a motion. I'll support that.
We have a motion by McDonald, supported by Merrick, to pay the invoice for our share of the trail, not to exceed $15,000.
Oh, and this is a partial.
Yes, partial of the 30.
I mean, but
Overall.
there's gonna be more.
Yep. Dave?
Your easement's signed and recorded? What?
Signed.
Goes in the mail tomorrow.
So any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Merrick,
Yes.
Biondo,
Yes.
McDonald,
Yes.
Biganowski,
Yes.
Kramer, yes, West,
Yes.
and Radke.
Long time coming, yes.
And I wanted to take a moment to thank Pat for the work and the persistence on this so far.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't.
And the DDA board, so Eric down there, Center for the Arts.
I don't understand.
Everyone else on the board.
Yeah, Eric doesn't have any hair left, and why do you? Okay, motion
Carried.
carried on that. We'll move on to the reconciliation, I believe. And Andy, you pulled. Please proceed.
Well, the portion that I pulled from the packet is the November bank reconciliations. There was a request by Pat by the board to include bank reconciliations at the recommendation of our auditor at the last meeting. So knowing that the bank recs are typically a month behind, we're in January, it's actually going to be the November bank recs that get done in December because that's when we get the bank statements. So I pulled the November bank recs, put them in the account or on the clerk's desk, didn't look at them, didn't think about it. We closed down our office in December, beginning of December. I was getting ready for tax season, a lot of things going on, moving the offices. The bank recs were never done. The bank recs that you received in your board packet were just a report that said nothing was done. That's why when you looked at it, it may have confused you. My first clue when I looked at it was the bank balance per statement line, I can't remember the exact verbiage, was 0. That means that nothing was input into the computer. So that's why the bank recs look like they're completely and totally worthless, because they are. They will be done here shortly, hopefully. We're now going to be getting new computers done into the office. I'm trying to get caught up on all the stuff that was done over the last 3 weeks while we were closed. This is my busy time of year. stopping to do bank recs, while it is important to do, is not as important as getting the taxpayers' money into the bank and distributing to our taxing authorities that we collect for. So, the current bank recs are not done in November. That's why, Dave, you and Danielle, the CPA, could not figure out what they were, and made no sense.
Okay.
And as soon as I got that email from you, that was a reply all to the board, I looked at the bank recs and went, this is what happened. They weren't done. Because that bank balance or statement balance was zero.
So I assume you're gonna give us a complete set at the next packet,
That is my intention, yes.
and include the actual bank statement, so we can match them up, please?
And let's even get a little more interesting here.
Because we got 5, and I know there's more than 5.
You got more than 5, Dave. You got 7. And there's more than 7. You are correct. You did not get them all, but there were more than 5.
All right, so what is this?
I'll explain it just a second. I'm in front of the microphone. So in this folder, there's 2 bank
Hang
recs.
I'm sort of getting down to the beat. Okay.
In this folder, you're gonna see that there's 2 bank recs. I kind of handed them out and put them in order so I could walk you through it. You're gonna see that bank rec ID 774 is highlighted. And then the top left corner, you can see that was printed on 10/3 of 2024. You're gonna look at the one behind it. It's also bank reconciliation record ID 774 in the middle of the page on the top, 3rd line down. You're gonna see that was printed on 1/10 of 2025. Same report, same bank rec. If you look at the important line, I believe CPAs will probably agree with me on this, unreconciled difference on the last page, bottom right side. On the front one, the bank unreconciled difference is 0. That's what you want to see when you're doing a bank rec. That means that everything is lined up appropriately. If you look at the one from 1/10 of 2025 that was printed then, you're going to see that there's an unreconciled difference of $15,461.57. So sometime between October 3rd and January 10th, that bank rec became unreconciled. There's now an unreconcilable difference. I don't know how to explain that at this point sitting here. I knew there was an issue in the beginning of December, end of November. My deputy treasurer came up to me and said there is an issue with our bank recs going back to May. I'm going to need to call Trent. I'm going to need somebody with a much higher education level than me when it comes to CPA and accounting and numbers. And I'm letting you guys know as a board this. I've also included, because Dave, you asked for a bank statement. That's the bank statement that matches up with that bank rec. I also included a copy of your email that you sent that everybody got, so that public's aware of what was in that email, so we don't get in trouble with a Freedom or a Open Meetings Act violation. I gave that to Mary Jo to include in the board or in part of the minutes. And then, to minimize the possibility of me not getting all the bank recs, I only gave 7 instead of however many we got here, I'm improving the sheet that I presented to Trent at the audit. That's on every monthly bank rec that I do. You'll see in the last column, it says board packet. That means I've got a packet of information, including whatever information the board directs me to have in there. If you want every piece of paper that's involved in me doing the bank rec, I'm more than happy to include that. The banks, there's 15, 10, whatever bank accounts that I got to reconcile. Each one of those has at least 3 pieces of paper that we generate to look at to make sure that the bank rec is correct, plus the bank statement. The general fund and the tax account are going to have a lot more than that. I don't know what you guys want. When I took office, it was simply, well, the cash in the banks is good. So we want more information on the treasurer's report. I need guidance.
Your column C here has a couple, I assume those are the last 4 digits of your accounts.
Correct.
So that column is not complete, is what you're saying. And I assume that the Huntington General Fund, well, maybe not. I mean, so there's more accounts than these. You're showing 6. And you're telling me.
There's a Saxony Security Green Lake Township account, there's a Huntington General Fund account ending in 7682, Huntington Escrow Planning Fund ending in 1641.
can
The
read it.
Saxony's, we've only got one account with Saxony, so I don't need to separate that to find out which one it is when I'm trying to pull the report. This is, the account numbers is to make it easier for me and my deputy to pull, to match it up with the bank code that we have in the computer, because those numbers don't mean anything to the bank statement that I receive.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Does the bank give you one statement for multiple accounts?
No.
Okay, that would make things really.
I get a bank statement for each account. Unless it's the money market, then I get one statement for all the accounts in the money market. There's also money market accounts that we can't use that the accountant has told us that we're not allowed to generate any revenue from. We take money, escrow. We take money for a fire, and we put it into a bank. We're not supposed to make any money off of that because that is not our money. That is the person who gave us the money. So we have to have that in a zero interest account. I set up money market accounts for those. Those need to either be closed or zeroed out, but there's no activity in them. If you want me to put the 3 other money market accounts that have no activity in them there, I can give you that too.
I was anticipating you'd do this once. And Pat said, hey, let's go see a set of these. I don't think I want it in every.
The auditor recommended every month that I provide you a bank rec. Ms. Coverdale recommended at least quarterly. I believe that's a good idea that the board does see this information. How much of it you get is entirely up to you, and I'm happy to present you with anything that you want.
So, again, I think we're on an accrual basis. So maybe it does change over time. You just printed out last summer's. I don't know if that flux, if you were on a cash basis, I'm sure it wouldn't. But yeah, let's do this again. And the line item that says miscellaneous, whatever, transactions, yeah, I think we need a little bit on those as well.
Most likely, sitting here right now and not really having a lot of time to do a lot of research after getting your email on this, I believe those miscellaneous transactions are the, when I take money from the bank account and put it in the money market account, and when I take it from the money market account and put it in the bank account, those are the transactions that are capturing that difference. I can get you a sheet, a single piece of paper that says this is what that money is for. Would you like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That line item should be explained.
I'm making sure I'm not giving you more information than you want and making sure I'm giving you all the information you want because...
This is the first time you've done it, so again, I'll give you a break and then let's just see what you...
Do you want bank statements included in the public board packet?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
They'd make more sense than anything that we've been getting, because I struggled through all of those records that we're getting from you and try to match this up from here and this to here and where'd this money go and all of that.
So you want bank statements?
For each reconciliation, you have to do that.
I'm writing down notes to make sure that I get everything covered, Dave. You want explanation for miscellaneous, correct?
Miscellaneous
Whatever that line, I know, but
transactions.
miscellaneous transactions.
And then like Sherry said, we're trying to match this up to the cash account that you've always given us every month. And the date range on your cash account doesn't make any sense. It goes from 12/2023 to 12/2024. It's in the front of our packet.
Then maybe I messed up because it was the end.
Okay, so again,
It's
there's no way to
typically that
reconcile
month.
any of that with bad information. So yeah, watch that.
Was Trent the person that we should bring in, or we hire somebody local?
I'm going to be going through this, try to figure out what I even need to ask Trent at this point, to just go, Trent, I need to come up and look at this. I believe we'll be paying money for the accountant rate. When I can get some of this figured out, it might take me a little bit longer than a couple of days. I've been in the office a little bit more than I had planned on to try to get some of this stuff figured out, but I wanted to bring it to your attention that we are having an issue with the bank rec from the end of the year, till June 1, till now, something has changed, and I don't know how to explain that, and I don't like that I can't give an explanation. So I may need to bring in somebody who knows more. And Trent's familiar with BSNA and with our governmental accounting, so I would go with someone who, like Trent, has.
Andy?
We need to authorize anything as far as Trent goes, or can you just call him and have him come
I don't have that answer.
Yes, we can just call them, have them come in, because we do have professional services budgeted for that those particular issues. Because we know we do have, all our SADs and all this, we are above average in our accounts, to be honest with you, because we serve our citizens, so we hold a lot of special assessments. So that in itself is something to keep track of, because that's restricted funds as well. So, and yes, Andy's been in every day that I'm aware of trying to figure out how the reconciled became unreconciled, and that was during the auditors.
It looks like something happened during our audit, but I don't know that for sure.
Yeah, so that's something we're gonna question Trent on. Sherry, you had some other comments?
That's what I wanted to know about. I wanted to know when we did that, when Trent did the audit, so we closed out the year, did it all get reconciled then?
Up to June 30th, Trent indicated that it
30th.
was, yes, that it was all reconciled to that date.
Okay,
And he also recommends that we try to get the reconciliation done on our major accounts no later than the 20th of the
of the
following
month, right, of the month,
And
that,
yes, it'd be a good idea to have reconciliation monthly,
yes,
quarterly at least,
at least, yeah,
if I recall his statement
Right.
at our last meeting.
okay.
So yes, that is the number one charge that Andy has taken on. In that regards, they're just, and it threw me through a loop as well, trying to, okay, we reconciled. Now we're gonna do another report, and how are we off that 15,000 or whatever number it was?
16.
For the same report.
How we
For
got
the
so
same
many
report.
negatives.
Yeah.
and- Yeah,
So, so hopefully when Judy gets done speaking with BSNA regarding on some of her questions, we can put another ticket in to see if it's software glitch.
And that's the
We're
other
gonna
issue,
try to
there's
narrow
things
it
that
down.
happen in the clerk's office, that a bill comes in, we pay it, it gets recount, I don't know how all that interacts. I, once again, am not a CPA, I have very minimal 2 years of college on this from 1997, and haven't really applied it, so I'm still learning a lot and realizing there's a lot to governmental accounting. And Margaret even, or the new deputy, looked at this and said, we've got a lot more going on here in this township than he did in Paradise.
Yeah, well, Andy, as a word of recommendation, there's some training that's being offered by the Michigan Township Association that would train, the quote-unquote new treasurers, clerk, trustees, supervisors, and the likes of that. Perhaps I would encourage you to spend some time and see if there's anything that you can do there. And there are some online presentations as well that's been recorded. That might help. I know I'm spending some time because of over this last session, lame duck session, over 100 laws were recommended to be signed by the governor. So, yeah, that's quite a bit of undertaking. So, that's
And the
what
rules
I'm
and how we
studying.
do work keeps changing.
Yes. Okay. Is it anything else, Sherry?
Yeah, I didn't read the papers because I wrote to Andy and Judy both. Did we actually go through 304 checks in November? When you just looked into it, did you actually write that many checks out that month?
It sure felt like it. I don't know the exact number, I just know it seemed like I was doing a signing
What
checks,
seemed to be
Canberra.
going on? Because don't we normally write like 150 or so a month?
Well, the new contract started with snow plowing. That was only a handful. That was a half dozen,
Right.
and those type of things. And we also were doing the flooring. We got billed for what was complete. I mean, so it was just, we had a lot going.
Road work
Spend a lot
going
of
on
money.
down at the park, and just a lot of extra things, because we've been, paying out the ARPA money, so.
Year-end closeout stuff, so.
And, I mean, look at poor Pam, her hands are just completely numb from writing all those checks.
She had a brace the other day.
Yeah. Paul, you have any questions, comments?
No, I'm all set. I think that if we get up to speed, that'd be great. Because when I seen the original packet, I'm looking sideways at the report. I'm seeing July and August checks, and I'm trying to line them up.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's why you got a computer like this, Paul, that way you can turn it sideways.
I think one of them was upside down.
It was.
One gets scanned.
The clerk was rather sick when she put those together on Friday, and I apologize.
So, yes. Dave, any other follow-ups? Pat?
Been I don't know how long on it.
Nope, I've made my comments. Thank you, Andy. Anything else you'd like to add or close
The only
out?
other thing I'd ask is if you think of anything before the next board meeting, or you're talking to friends and family, or anybody who happens to know more than I do about this, and they say, hey, you should have X, Y, or Z included in with your bank reconciliation for your report, please send me an email before we put the board packets together, so I got time to make sure I've got that included. Because it does take a little bit more time to go back retro to look for the stuff versus putting it all together at the time I'm doing it.
Okay, nothing else? I would entertain a motion to
We don't need a motion.
receive and file. It was part of the consent agenda, so I believe I would like to have a motion for action on this, to receive and file or something.
I'd make a motion that we take these bank recs that were provided for the board and throw them in the garbage because they're not very good.
Will you add to that you will provide corrected ones the next board meeting?
That is part of my motion, Dave.
Thank you.
We made,
Are you second?
I am.
well, we have a motion by Merrick, supported by Baganowski, to receive and file the existing reconciliation into the circular bin and come back with reconciled statements next meeting.
Yes.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries. Thank you. Next item, I believe, are minutes. Sherry,
Yep,
are you going to address my no yes?
yep. And then the whole next to the rest of that sentence that got stuffed in there. Did it come through from another, on the third page, bottom of the page, after Radke on the vote, we got a no yes on him? And I know you were no on that one, Marv.
Correct.
That's actually my maiden name, in case anybody's curious.
No
No
yes?
yes.
Radke, no yes? Something happened we don't know about, Marv?
No yes.
And then from right there where it starts on an approved in amount not to exceed 3,000, I think that's from last month's meeting. Throughout the rest of it should all be struck out,
Yeah.
right?
Anything else, Sherry?
Nope, that's all I found.
Okay. Does everybody understand the comments and the location of the corrections?
Yep.
I didn't hear anybody that did not understand, so I would entertain a motion to approve, receive, file the minutes as
So moved.
corrected.
Second,
Motion by Merrick, seconded by West. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, say no. Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, now, discussion amongst the board. As a late notice, I believe it was yesterday afternoon, I sent out a notice that Young Graham Wendling, our law firm, our attorneys that we use for township business, have sold their municipal client portion of their business to Buckham, Thal, Sieber, Kaufman, Cokes, who specializes in municipal practice, and they have several hundred other clients, I believe, 180 other individual township cities and villages, and they're the ones that help initiate and start up the MTA back in 1953. They have purchased the municipal portion of our township legal team. Mr. Graham is retiring. Mr. Wendling has narrowed his practice down, so they did negotiate, and then the firm that bought out Young Graham and Wendling would honor the contract that they hold with us for 1 year. Brian Graham said he would stay on for an additional 4 months to help transition the new team on, and I've had phone conferences with both of them, where they said we can go out for RFPs. The recommendation is you know, you got a real good deal as it was, and this new firm's honoring it for a year. Their recommendation is to carry on with them. They have great respect for Catherine and Michael. Catherine is a Spitfire. I don't know, Dave, if you know her or Pat. No, yeah, she's a Spitfire. I can tell you that. And Michael is several years out of school, and he's full of energy. So I deal with them through MTA as well. But whatever this board desires, I
So Marv,
included.
the thing is, you know, we've always had a local attorney, and it's not a big deal for him to show up and sit in the chair in front of us. When you go to these downstate attorneys, yeah, they're shit hot and they know the stuff, but we pay through the nose to get them to sit in a chair in front of us.
Yeah,
So, and there's not a lot of attorneys up here that do this anymore.
yeah, they're putting an office, 2 of them are relocating to Harbor Springs.
Yeah, I don't consider, if they're gonna drive for free, fine, but they're not.
Yeah, I don't know, it's whatever the same terms that Brian had with us driving from Bel Air.
So, I mean, that's one of the big things. I mean, these firms are fine. All the counties use downstate attorneys.
Yeah,
So what do you think?
and Judy's right on time.
I'm not impressed with the video conference stuff, but I will say, even the court here, you know, everything's going video. So it's gotten a lot better since the pandemic, so I guess there's that.
Yeah, so we have years, I mean, we have 1 year continuing our existing contract, which
Yeah.
expired at the end of June this year anyways, so we have an additional 6 month at our same rate.
We can
That
see
we
how they
have.
go, how they do, and then we can, if
Yes,
not, we can do an RFP.
I'm willing to do whatever.
I would be happy doing an RFP at the end of, or before this contract would end. So go with them for the year sometime before that
Send an
year is
RFP
up.
out for 10
Put an
months.
RFP out in advance so that we have the time to look over all the options that we have at that
So
point.
Marv, our current contract has an hourly rate of what, 170 or something like that?
Well, it's 180.
180. It's totally
Just raising
ridiculous.
it, yeah.
Is Buckham they're gonna add 100 to that, right? I don't know. What are they-
They're honoring the 180 for the
It's
next year.
For 1 year, but
Yeah.
after that, what's it gonna be, you know?
I do not know. I
We
will.
do need to know that.
I have a meeting with Rob Thal, the lead attorney down there, Thursday night at 5 o'clock.
My guess is it's gonna go up substantially.
It's probably gonna depend on how big of a pain in the butt we are.
No, they'll probably have a flat rate for time.
Which
Yeah.
is why I would suggest we do an RFP as we get near the end of that
I
contract.
wanna
so we
know
can-
what theirs is.
Yeah,
It's
so
gonna go up, but, 'cause that
I'll
was
ask-
ridiculously low.
I'll ask to have Rob send it to us in writing Friday. We'll have a formal meeting Friday down in Lansing, so I'll ask him then in that regards. Any other thoughts, ideas in regards? So continue for the 12 months, and 10 months do an RFP, and in the meantime, I'll ask for their normal hourly rate that would be implemented after the 12 month.
And then see if they'll still do the 200 a month call
Oh,
too.
the under 10 call?
Yep.
I think that was a Wendling thing. I've never seen anybody else do
I
that.
don't know, but it's worked great.
Yes. For a
Especially now that
5-minute
we
phone
have a
call?
different
For us, not for them.
Now that we have a different zoning administrator, the rest of us get that freebie now this month.
Well, they're assuming the contract, just act like we expect them to provide that service.
Oh, yeah,
$200.
At least for
next year.
12 months. So, and that's the only correspondence that I have, with one exception. Jill Rowley, that does waste management. She reached out, because we have Shoreline Waste, or who does our waste, our cleanup day?
Shoreline.
No.
Republic.
Republic. Yes, Waste, another company would like to sit down and talk with a couple of board members and do an offering to see if they can compete with Republic.
Waste management?
Not Waste Management.
Yeah, it's called Waste Management. They're coming back.
Oh, really?
Yes, they're now back again after
Their
they
5
sold
years
to
must be
GFL.
Yeah, I can check my emails,
Yeah, the
but
big the big ones are what, GFL models? though?
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, because they contacted me and I had them call you. You're welcome.
Oh,
You're good at that. This is for you, send.
I forget I'm at the bottom of the hill. 2 hills. So, yes, so that's something that we're gonna talk with and see if we can negotiate a better price.
Just for cleanup day, because the last time we had ours the same dang day as Blair,
And
and you can't use theirs.
Homestead, and,
Okay,
yeah,
So
they were stretched
that's another
thin.
aspect of the whole, getting a different vendor.
Okay.
Republic does a good job for us.
Yeah, they treat us nice, I mean, they're good,
They stagger.
Yeah.
but they were stacked and packed. So that's the other thing that we'll be looking into, and I'll give a report on that now, I guess, thanks Judy. And, the report outcome of the discussions with Nate in that regards. With that, I have no other discussion. Anybody else have any other discussion points? Okay, we'll
Nope,
move
just
up.
the board meeting information from the county.
Yep, we got
That's
the correspondence, the meeting dates. There was some discussion changing it, alternating at the county level, but they kept it all the same, so nothing's changed at the county level. With that being said and done, no correspondence, last call for public comment, same rules apply. I would ask that,
I thought you said silence, those Marv.
I would ask, thank you, Jill.
You want to dance?
The video came back up, which I tell you.
That's okay, you know, people that know me would totally embrace it anyway. Jill Coverdell, 5648 Renwood Way. In regards to the bank recs, I would offer myself up. I'm a CPA, I've done 80 million thousand bank recs in my life on all kinds of systems. So I'd be happy to come and sit with you, Andy, as far as what you might want to provide to the board. You know, as far as the recs getting out of whack, you know, a lot of times if you're posting entries and you put in a wrong date, it can go backwards and change then what the information was. I bet you that's what's gone on, that maybe you voided a check or you did something else and a wrong date was in there. But, you know, I know how to identify a lot of that, so I'd offer myself up as a volunteer and a good steward of the township to do that. And in regards to that, the two summaries that are always in the packet, the one is called the cash summary by bank for Green Lake Township. Then there's also the other one that's cash summary by account for Green Lake Township. I would assume that both of those should equal each other if they're including all of the information. They never have in any of the board packets. And in this month, the cash summary by bank is a negative balance. Again, it's a negative $1.5 million, which would mean that we are overdrafted by $1.5 million and have no cash. That's a little alarming, to say the least. So, you know, I think that there's just a lot of reporting cleanup that needs to happen as far as what's going on with the bank recs and even what's presented to the board. You know, and this is not to say you're doing anything inappropriate, Andy. It's just that, you know, I've seen inappropriate things done that have hurt organizations, you know, by somebody not recording things properly and whatnot. And it's not to say you are, but, you know, I think we just need to get this in a fine-tuned way to make sure that we're matching up with what's truly in the bank at all times. You know, there may be system limitations, but I bet you we could figure out what we need to run, and I offer myself up, if you so would like.
Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Any other public comment? Greg?
What is that? Is that 4 months now?
Scott Richards, 11802 Fredmar. On your garbage deal, I like the little guy. I've always liked the little guy, the underdog. And this big GFL, Waste Management, they're going to put a lower bid to get rid of Republic. And then after Republic goes bankrupt, you're going to be stuck with the big guy. So just remember that, you know. Competition is the best thing. So for prices and everything. So don't put the little guy out of business, because the big guy's going to cut you a deal now, and then 3 years later you're paying double because you put the little guy out of business.
Very good. Any other public comment? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting at 6:25. Motion by Ganowski, supported McDonald. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, say no.
No.
Motion carries 6-1. Meeting adjourned.